Hi, and welcome to this month's Thoughts on Leadership. The question I'm asking this month is, are you worth coaching? Now, before we get into the answering my question, let's first get the difference out of the way of what's the difference between a coach and a mentor. Because I think it's important to understand these differences, and then we'll get to my question. So, on the one hand here we have coaching. On the other hand we have mentoring. Now, instead of seeing them as two separate entities, let's try and imagine them as two ends of a spectrum, of a line, if you like. Over this side here, we have coaches, pure coaching. At this side, we have mentoring. And then there's the variances in between. Now, if we appreciate that, let's start with the mentor side of it. What is a mentor? Well, the dictionary describes a mentor as somebody who's a wise and trusted counselor, a teacher. They use words like sponsor, supporter, and advisor. In other words, it's somebody with knowledge that is able to pass on their knowledge to someone. The other end of the spectrum is coaching. Now, coaching is more about getting the best out of someone. It's not about just purely passing on knowledge. In fact, it may have no knowledge to pass on to somebody. Okay, so when somebody is doing some coaching with an individual, they're working at bringing the best out of them, and that's why in industries like sports or in various industries, you find the best athletes, the best people. They've all got coaches. Teams have coaches. So let's give you an analogy, if you like. Imagine that you're new to a company. You don't know the processes, the protocols, the systems. You don't know what's required. You don't understand what needs to be done. So what happens? Well, on this, as a mentor, the mentor will tell you, everything from where's the toilets, what's the process, what's the form filling in, when the wages come in, who the boss is. They're giving you that information. They're instructing you. They're telling you. They're a fountain of knowledge. That's mentoring. On the coaching end of the spectrum, you've got somebody who's been there a while. So a coach in this instance will be the person who's asking the questions. We're saying to somebody, okay, so why do we still do it like this? Why do you still do it the way you're doing it? If there was a better way of doing it, what would that be? So what you've got is somebody who may not know very much about the industry at all, but what they do know is how to ask those questions to get the very best out of somebody. And if you understand that, then you can understand the gradients in between, okay? Because you can start off mentoring somebody, but there is a point by which they understand the systems and the process and what's required, and they don't need a mentor. What they need is somebody who's going to be able to coach them, challenge them, and get the best out of them. So if we understand those differences, let's get back to my question, which is, are you worth coaching? Now I'm talking to you as an individual. Are you worth coaching? Okay? Because being mentored, we feel comfortable with. Most people feel comfortable being mentored. Okay? Why? Because the mentor is somebody with some knowledge. So we go to that person, we've got a question, we've got something we want to know about, we ask them the question. Okay, and we like it because they tell us the answer. But being coached, a lot of people see being coached as there's some sort of weakness in me. Okay, maybe I'm not very good at something, and it's the acknowledgement of not being very good at something, which is not the case at all. But we have this uncomfortable feeling about it, unless you are somebody who recognizes that we can always be better than who we are. It's not my leadership style has always worked for me, so I'm going to do it this way forever and a day. It's worked for me, but hey, I could be so much better. Maybe, and of course the world has changed, so maybe I need to change my style. I'll only get the style I need if I find the right coach who can help me. Let me tell you, the very best people in the world are people who have coaches. And that is true regardless of whether we're talking about sports, whether we're talking about acting, or whether we're talking about being a CEO of an organization. The best people have some form of coach. So this month I'm going to ask you these questions underneath my main question, are you worth coaching? The questions I'm going to ask you are really about you. Who have you become as a leader? Because I'm going to say, do you deserve a coach? Okay, because you only deserve a coach if you're somebody that's open to being challenged. If you're open for somebody to challenge you, question you, make you think, help you reinvent yourself, well, then you deserve a coach. But if you're not, then you don't deserve one. Okay? So are you that person that is open to being challenged and coached? Are you that person that wants to be drawn the best out of them? If not, then don't waste the time and money on doing it. Secondly, if you are somebody that's happy to be coached, are you prepared to take the step and actively find the right person to coach you? In other words, you may sit there saying, well, I'm open for it, Paul. Yeah, I want to be coached. I'm willing to be challenged. Okay, but it's not just the words. Now the action has to happen, because not every coach is going to be the right coach for you. You've got to find the coach that really is going to be the best person for you. And this person may not know your industry. And in a lot of cases, the coach knowing nothing about your industry is actually better for you, because you've got someone with that fresh set of eyes. I've got CEOs that I know that have 2 or 3 coaches for various things in their life. Okay, they have a coach for one thing over here and another thing over there. So they're actively looking for that and finding the right person that can connect with them on a particular aspect. So we're not even talking about one coach, we're talking about more. Okay, so the 2 things I'm asking you here is, are you that person who's worth it? And if you turn around and say, yes, I am, then I'm saying, okay, fine. Is it just words, or are you doing it properly? Because in the coaching I do, if somebody agrees to do something as a result of a coaching session, and then they don't go away and do it, I tell them that they're not worth coaching anymore, because they're not committed enough to make the improvements in their life. And at the end of the day, it doesn't make any difference to the coach. Okay, the coach is only as good as the person that is prepared to be coached. So I hope these questions this month have really got you thinking a little bit about what you need. Are you just allowing people to mentor you and not really being coached? Are you somebody who's worth that coaching? And are you just saying it, or are you getting on and doing it? I hope it's been a good summer wherever you are, and that things are going well. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Bye from now.